So I'm going to be devoting an entire mini-series of several videos to addressing the issues of first world feminism. Now, what I mean by first world feminism is, of course, feminism seen in first world countries. This is not the type of feminism that you may have once saw in the 1900s when women were fighting for their right to vote. This is not the type of feminism that you see nowadays in third world countries where women are fighting for their right to have education. In other words, this is not about women's rights. At least this is not about making things equal. This is the type of feminism that says that they're trying to strive for equality, but in actuality is completely misandric in nature. It does nothing but give women all of the benefits and the privileges while stripping those away from men, and in all does not even benefit women in the long run because it creates unrealistic expectations and or really undermines the problems of real feminist issues happening in third world countries. Again, I don't want to seem like I'm overgeneralizing, so I'm going to say, of course, not all women fit the description of the types of people I talk about in these next few videos. Not all feminists fit the description of who I talk about in these videos, but a lot of them I think do, especially where I live, especially in North America. And overall, I think that this is the type of feminism that really needs to be addressed. So today I'm going to talk about chivalry, and I'm also going to talk about how it relates in a modern day context. So, long time ago, there was this thing called chivalry, where guys basically treated women like objects. They bought them nice shiny things, catered to their needs, protected them from dangerous things, showed them how manly and strong and courageous and tough they were, and yet, in return, they got a woman who was completely compliant, pretty much in every sort of way. Now, feminists will so often point to how chivalry is very misogynistic, considering men do not treat women like equals. Men give them all sorts of nice shiny things and whatnot, but overall, women are not treated on the same platform as men, to which I agree wholeheartedly. Men and women, when it comes to the values of chivalry, are not treated equivalently, not even close. Men hold generally a lot of power, but they have to give a lot of their wealth, their time, a lot of everything they have, pretty much, away to the woman, in exchange for the woman's complete compliance. Feminists will often point to how the patriarchy was responsible for this, as if this was a system entirely beneficial towards men, which it wasn't. As you could see, the women reaped a lot of rewards from chivalrous attitudes at the time. I don't know who was responsible, or if there even were people responsible for chivalry being a largely accepted societal value back in the day. I don't know whether it was feminists who were responsible for this, or just very misogynistic pigs, or some other unseen influence, but to be honest, I don't really care who is responsible for chivalry being a mainstream thing. All I care about is why it's wrong, and why I don't think it should ever really be accepted today. Fast forward several hundred years, and we have what modern-day feminism has given us. The right for women to vote, the right for women to be treated equally as men, the right for women to do all sorts of things, legally and otherwise, that men can do, pretty much. And these things are good. These things help establish equality, which I definitely think is a very good thing. Women have the same opportunities that men have. Women can do the things that they couldn't have done before. All of these things, I think, are reasonable for women to have. But there lies a problem. And the problem comes in the form of women who like to take advantage of the fact that they can vote, that they can have equal employment opportunities. They take advantage of all the nice benefits of feminism that we see today, and they turn around and advocate for certain aspects of chivalry. I don't want to date a guy or meet a guy or talk to a guy until he buys me X, Y, and Z, and he takes me to nice places and buys me shoes and gets the dinner bill every time, yada yada yada. And you can bet that the large majority of them, when asked if they want to be treated equally as men, would say yes. Because when they think of being treated equally as men, they think of all the benefits. They think of what we men have enjoyed for hundreds of years. But when you think about it closely, how is that fair? How is it fair that me as a man, I have to treat you presumably as an equal by giving you voting rights, by giving you the same employment opportunities, by giving you all of the privileges that I as a man enjoy, and yet you want to turn around and tell me that I have to get the dinner bill every single fucking time? Those of us who've held a part-time job will understand how little money we can make, and to be spending that money on someone else is a sign that they must be very special. So I think it's a little bit arrogant and just quite selfish for anyone to expect that someone who has to work part-time has to pay for their meals and has to pay for their gas money to bring them home and has to pay for gifts and expensive shit for birthdays and Christmas and whatnot. And I think it's a very growing trend that women expect this. It is no longer something special. It's no longer just in the movies. It's no longer just a treat every once in a while. It's starting to become something standard, apparently. This was all news to me. And I think that's quite a toxic thing to have in society. I can already hear people lining up and saying, oh, you're just mad because you have to pay the bill all the time and you're poor. And if you just busted your ass a little more, then maybe you would show a girl how much she really meant to you. Well, that's a tad selfish, isn't it? So I have to bust my ass even more and sacrifice even more of my time just so she can be happy picking out shoes and makeup that she doesn't even need? Or maybe that I have to treat her to dinner when she could have paid for it herself. Like if she was self-sufficient, or if she too had a part-time job. And if you feminists really stand for equality, then why wouldn't you advocate that a man and a woman split the bill? And listen, I know there are a lot of guys that would love nothing more than to have a trophy bride right on their arm, at their beck and call. He'll pay them like hundreds and thousands of dollars worth in investments and gifts and dinners and extravagant parties and maybe a nice fancy car and whatnot. And, you know, if you're a guy watching this video and you want to treat some girl to all those things, that's cool. That's up to your discretion. Sure. And ladies, if a guy wants to do that for you, I think that's great. That's cool, and I'm happy for you. But to expect these things to be handed to you by a guy is really no better than all of those misogynistic pigs, those real misogynistic men that treat women like trash because those guys think they're the king of the fucking world because they're born with a cock. You know, you first world feminists sometimes are really no better than the misogyny you claim to fight against. So which is it, ladies? Do you want me to treat you like an equal, in which case you bear equal responsibilities, the equal amount of sacrifice as I do in a relationship? Or do you want me to be treating you like you want in a chivalrous sort of relationship, where things are not equal, in which case you don't have the right to demand my respect? Either way, why should I give everything that I have, everything that I may ever have, for a woman who wants to think nothing of herself except to be my superior? Thank you for watching, and may the truth always be heard.